This is a battle for all of our future. It's a battle for the health of our planet and all of the people that are on it. And frankly, this is a battle for democracy.
There is no planet 2. This is the one that we have, and this is the one that we have to protect.
We only have 10 years. So it's really important that we all push lawmakers today, especially as youth who don't really have as much of a voice in our political system.
They're the ones who have to deal with the worst consequences of climate impacts, and so their voices really need to be heard.
We need to actually do something, not just keep discussing solutions.
To those in power, the science has been clear for a long time. You and those before you have failed for 30 years, that's nearly twice my lifetime, to take the bold action that you need to take. We demand today's politicians understand one thing. There is no next time, there is no next person, and there is no next generation to solve this for you. You are it. Time is running out for us and for future generations.
Oregon Environmental Council's mission has been to create lasting change for environmental protection.
The greenhouse effect is changing our climate now.
To promote health in our communities and bring people together all across Oregon. Oregon was an early leader in climate action. We were always really setting standards for the nation. And Oregon youth have been incredible leaders in the climate movement. They're not willing to accept incremental progress. They show up and speak up.
As soon as possible, put climate change on the agenda. Thank you.
About climate change, I've read reports from the IPCC, the EPA, and NASA, and they all point towards an economy collapse and a world not suitable for life, and that's not a pessimistic view.
Even as we were making significant progress here in Oregon, the federal level, there were many rollbacks over the last 4 years. It was heartbreaking to see.
The United States will withdraw from the Paris Climate Accord.
That's why Oregon's action continues to matter, and we have to keep setting standards in order to avoid the worst impacts from climate change.
A stark warning from the United Nations panel on climate. The window of opportunity to make a change is not yet closed, but urgent action is needed and fast.
The coalition that was brought together by Oregon Environmental Council, Renew, and Oregon Youth really put climate at the top of the priority list in a way that it had never been before. It changed the dialogue on climate in Oregon.
It's basically important that we don't continue to dig the climate
All
hole.
we need now is the political courage to...
But then we hit a major roadblock.
Republicans walked out of the legislative session, refusing to allow a vote on the cap and trade bill.
I'm so very incredibly sad that the adults once again have failed our children, and their children.
And so Oregon Environmental Council and partners worked with Governor Kate Brown to put together a landmark climate executive order.
These young people are truly the reason that we are here today.
Oregon Governor Kate Brown announced her new executive order. It establishes new greenhouse gas emission reduction goals, specifically the most ambitious clean fuel goals in the country.
It's going to cut pollution, it's going to protect communities, and create a clean energy economy here in Oregon.
As always, we have a packed agenda for today's Oregon Climate Action Plan Coalition meeting.
The OEC has been working really hard to bring people together to make sure the executive order delivers on its promise. And we continue to advocate for new public policy at the state capitol. We're very excited about the potential ahead of us. The rubber hits the road on the local level. We have to keep moving forward.
We need to show the rest of the country and the world that Oregon can be an environmental leader once again.
People around the world have the same goal as us, and it's just a matter of how we're going to get there.
It's the youth movement that's really going to drive what's going on. And I want to thank the youth for being a part of this.
You're doing the right thing, to do more of it.
Don't stop holding us accountable until we get it done.
Every voice matters in this movement, and the simple act of showing up can make a really, really big difference.
Your stories matter, and when you own those stories, you can make real big change with them. So keep it up and si se puede.